Welcome to Who Politics, where the game is more than just a game. I'm your host, Who Politics, and here we break it all down, from the fundamentals to the future stars. We talk players, prospects, and the stories that shape the culture. This isn't just analysis, it's perspective. So whether you're a hoop head, a student of the game, or just here for the stories, pull up a seat. Let's talk basketball. We're back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Welcome back to another episode of the Who Politics podcast. I don't even know if I want to call it the Who Politics podcast, but that's just what we're calling it right now. Maybe I'll come up with a better name or a more cooler name, or maybe you guys like Who Politics podcast. Let me know in the comment section. But anyways, episode 3. Been away for a little while. I apologize. We're still kind of getting some stuff together and really just trying to figure out the cadence and the flow to how to really do this podcast and just how to keep putting them out every single week. I really cannot understand how some guys are out here putting out 2, 3, 4 podcasts every single week. To those who are doing it out there, you guys are monsters. Like, y'all are animals. Salute to you. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Oh, before we do that, let me say this too. I recently just started a new social media app. I am now officially on Substack, which is another way for me to basically get out my thoughts. It's a way for me to continuously push the bump forward and just continue to world build. I want to world build with Who Politics. I want to provide the audio that you're currently listening to. I want to be able to provide what's the word I'm looking for? Written form. Yes, written form, which is now going to be in Substack. Who Politics, go check it out. I'll put some links in the bio as well for you guys to get to it easier, whether you're on YouTube or on Spotify. I also have it linked into my TikTok and everywhere else, as well as visual, which is what will be coming to YouTube shortly. Not just visual as far as this podcast, but visual as far as just more cinematic movie storytelling, documentary style, creativity content. And so you can just really kind of see what kind of vibe I'm really on, what kind of bag I'm really in. I am a creator, probably more than I am a basketball player nowadays, I would easily say. But anyways, now that we got it out the way, make sure you guys follow the Substack, Who Politics. Got some really good stuff going on there. I won't release too much, but you can just kind of figure it out what's going on over there. Here we are. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to make a video or if I will make a video on the TikTok, but I wanted to put this out there for my women's basketball fans who are really anticipating this upcoming college basketball season. NC State is not getting a lot of lip service like they should be getting. Personally, to me, I think that NC State could be a top 5 team this upcoming year in the NCAA basketball season on the women's side. I think easily they can be the top team in the ACC, or they'll battle with Duke. I know Kara Lawson, excellent coach. She's definitely showed me a lot over time. And Duke is really good on the defensive side. The thing that's always just been an issue is where's the offense going to come from? Jackson held a lot of that last year, and nobody's talking about her. Excuse me. But what I will say is pay attention to Riley Nelson. Riley Nelson is a special basketball player. People don't know it yet. She was at Maryland. She sat the entire season. I think she had an injury of some sort, and she went over to Duke and she sat there. Not really sure what's going on, but she is a special talent. She has a lot of Diamond Miller to her game. Very athletic, very long, can score it, can shoot it. She's going to be a very rangy defender for the Blue Devils, but she's going to help a lot in the scoring department. Make sure that you pay attention to her. But this segment is not about Duke. It's about NC State. And nobody is talking about NC State the way that they should be. They, in my opinion, have won the transfer portal this past year. They are loaded. Their first 5, in my opinion, what should be the first 5 is good enough and big enough to hold their own against anybody in college basketball this upcoming season. We're starting off with Zam Jones. Now, personally, I love Zam Jones. I've liked her since she was in high school. She can really score it. She can shoot the ball at a high level. She creates very well for herself. And she was playing a lot of backup minutes behind Sanaya Rivers as well as Zoe Brooks. But with Sanaya Rivers moving on to the W with the Mercury, she's going to be able to kind of take that next step in her sophomore year and really start to show what she's capable of doing. But even in her freshman year, she still averaged 7, 2, and 2, playing 16 minutes a game. Had a couple of breakout games where she put up 20. She showed that she can really hit shots. She showed that she can really score with the best of them and hold her own. Defensively, she does still need work, as well as working on her conditioning. She definitely wasn't able to hold her own as far as just conditioning is concerned during her freshman year at certain points or certain junctures of the game. But I think coming into her sophomore year, she's going to clear a lot of that up or clean a lot of it up. But she's going to be very good. Look for her scoring to increase dramatically this upcoming year. I could see her, she had 7 last year. I could easily see her jumping up to 14, maybe 15 a night. Easily. Next, you have Zoe Brooks. Now, Zoe Brooks is coming off of an awesome season. She was most improved player of the year this past year in the ACC, helped beat Notre Dame in the ACC tournament, really good friends with Hannah Hidalgo. She finished this past year averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Can score the basketball, plays really good on the defensive end, gets downhill, has really improved her jump shot. And I expect for her to take that next leap coming into her junior year. And I believe that Hannah Hidalgo will still win it, the ACC Player of the Year. But look for Zoe Brooks to be somebody who is going to be able to battle or contend with Hannah for the potential ACC Player of the Year, especially because I believe that Notre Dame will be taking a step back with all of their transfers leaving and NC State stepping into the forefront. If they win the ACC regular season tournament or the regular season championship and the ACC tournament championship, I could easily see this being a MVP type of season for Zoe Brooks. She's going to be very good. Now, this right here is where it gets interesting. This is where it's going to start getting interesting. Quadance Samuels. Quadance Samuels, I have been high on since she was in high school as well. I never understood why she went to Notre Dame. She should have never, not Notre Dame, I'm sorry, but UConn. She should have never went to UConn, especially after she got caught up in all of the stuff that she had going on off of the court. She should have just said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and transfer out, get out of Dodge and go somewhere where I'm going to be able to play and where I'm going to just be able to get along with my teammates. A lot of the outside noise that was going on definitely had an impact on just how things looked or were being perceived, even when she's sitting on the bench. And just, you know, with social media being around, seeing the basketball team together, seeing pictures, people being tagged in photos and videos, Quadance is not, wasn't a good look for her. For obvious reasons, I understand why I'm not fighting for that, but she needed to get out of there. Her coming to NC State was the perfect fit for her. She is legitimately 6 foot, long arms. She's athletic. You know, I love those. I love tall, long, athletic basketball players who have a legitimate skill, which in her case is shooting the basketball. She's a gunner. She's a gunner, just like her younger sister who's coming up in the class of 2027, I want to say. She's a gunner as well. She's going to be special. We'll talk about her at a later date. But Quadance can shoot the basketball at a high level. At 6 foot, long, athletic, and she can guard. She can move her feet very well. And her length and her size and her athleticism is going to allow for her to guard multiple positions. She is capable of guarding all 3 guard positions. And depending on what the lineups are, she may be able to even guard some of the 4s with added muscle coming in this upcoming season. Not sure if she's a junior or senior because you never really saw her play at all. She could have took a redshirt year. You just never know. So I'm not sure if she's a junior or a senior, but she is going to be a major piece to NC State, in my opinion. She is going to be a wild card. If she plays to the level that I believe she is capable of playing at, she easily could be a all-conference basketball player in the ACC. She could be a second-team all-conference and maybe even a first-team all-conference. I'm looking for her to really, really help out the Wolfpack and what Wes Moore's got cooking down there. And she was just an excellent pickup. Excellent pickup, under the radar. A lot of people don't like her. That doesn't mean she's not a good basketball player. And I hope that she is going to be able to do that or show that this upcoming year. So I'm very excited to see what Quadance Samuels is going to be doing. But last but not least, personally to me, the best transfer in the portal this past year. I know before we were talking about Taniyah Latson. I know we talked about Malaysia Fawiley, not here on the podcast, but if you follow me on the TikTok, that you already know. But Khamil Pierre kind of showed up out of nowhere. People thought she was going to come back to Vanderbilt with Michaela Blakes, and they were going to be that dynamic 1-2 punch. Didn't work out that way. For whatever reason, don't know. But what I will say, she's dumb nice. She's dumb nice. Okay? 6'2". She's got a lot of stretch forward to her game. 20 points per game, 10 rebounds. 20 and 10. And I think she gets like 2 assists. She can shoot it. She can handle it. She gets out in transition. She's a good passer. She's great on the defensive end. She's big bodied naturally, and she's still a sophomore. No matter how this upcoming season goes for NC State, they are going to be a problem for the next 3 years. I'm sorry, she's not a sophomore. She'll be a junior this upcoming year. They are going to be a problem for the next 2 to 3 years. NC State will be. Khamil easily could be a top 2, top 3 draft pick whenever she decides to come out. People just aren't talking about her like that because she's been playing for Vanderbilt. The same way of how people have not talked about Michaela Blakes in the light that they should be because she's down there in Vanderbilt. But if either one of them were playing for LSU, UConn, South Carolina, USC, teams like that, Notre Dame, we'd be having a totally different conversation about these players. Totally different. Khamil Pierre, mark my words, barring any injuries or any of that kind of stuff, she is going to be special down there at NC State, and her brand is going to shoot through the roof. Is going to shoot through the roof. She is unguardable in college basketball. She has a lot of, dare I say, she has a lot of Sarah Strong to her game. She's got a lot of Sarah Strong to her game. Not as much of a guard like Sarah Strong. Sarah Strong legitimately is a wing. She's just playing down low because that's just what the lineups call for. And because she's kind of big body as far as just strength is concerned. But she's actually a wing. She easily can be one of, if not the best player in the WNBA at some point in her career. Another conversation for another day. But Khamil Pierre, very similar. Not the same, but very similar. She's special. When she decides to come out, I don't think she'll come out this year. I think she'll probably come out next year during her senior year. That's when most of the girls are, especially with all this NIL going on. Why would you leave early out of college and try to go to the W? But Khamil coming out in 2 years, she can be top 2, top 3. If Juju comes out at the same time, obviously she'll be number 1. Khamil could be 2 or 3. She's that good. That good. She is going to take NC State to another level. And when I look at all of them on top of, you have Tilda Trygger. Tilda Trygger, 6'6" freshman this past year, averaged 7 and 5. She's going to come back in better shape. She understands the college game a little bit more. She's going to probably add some extra strength. She's going to be more confident. She's coming in as your center. So let me get this straight. Let's just think about this. In a perfect scenario, if these girls are starting the 5 that I named, you have your 6'6" center who can battle with pretty much all the centers or bigs that are in college basketball right now. You think about a Laura Betts, if Camilla was around, those type of players. You have a 6'2" power forward who is going to get you 20 and 10 a night. You have a 6-foot wing who can shoot the cover off the ball, and guard multiple positions in Quadance. And then you have Brooks and Jones, both 5'7" to 5'9", who can score the basketball and shoot it as well. What is NC State missing? And they have an excellent coach in Wes Moore. I love Wes Moore. I think he's one of the more underrated coaches in college basketball on the women's side. All they got to do is just clear up their bench. If their bench is solid like it should be, they're going to be ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll. I got NC State being a top 5 team in the country at some point, and I got them being either the number 1 or number 2 team in the ACC. Only people who I think could battle with them would be Duke. Like I said before, I got Notre Dame having the fall, just with everybody leaving. I mean, Hannah's nice, but we're going to find out how nice she really is. We're going to really find out how nice she is. Man, I can't wait for the basketball season. I can't wait for the basketball season. I don't know why. It's just like I'm starting to love college basketball more than I'm loving pro basketball, or at least the NBA. WNBA is cool for me, but women's college basketball is like the highlight of my year sometimes. And depending on what the college boys are doing, it can be the highlight as well. I got some guys I got to look at. But speaking of college guys, so I was looking at a podcast. I forgot the name of it. Run Your Own Lane, possibly Theo Pinson's podcast. And he had a special guest on. A lot of you guys remember Kentucky legend, Big Blue Nation legend, Aaron Harrison. Half of the Harrison twins duo, Aaron and Andrew Harrison, hit a lot of big time shots. 6'6" guard, got drafted for a little bit. Didn't really get the opportunity to really show what he can do. I don't really understand why, personally, because he had all the measurements. I mean, he didn't have long arms, but he's still standing at 6'6", playing point guard and shooting guard, could shoot the basketball, really good defender, could create, and pretty much have been seen as the next big thing, him and his brother, since they were probably around their freshman, sophomore year of high school. Anyways, I'm listening, and there's a segment that him and Theo are having where Aaron essentially starts to bring up AAU basketball. And he starts to bring up how a lot of basketball players now are ducking smoke. A lot of players are ducking smoke. And watching AAU basketball is kind of weird now. Because you have guys who are teaming up. You have guys who are not really trying to play against real competition. You see guys who you've never heard of on teams you've never heard of who are getting 40. But like Theo said, he would say, dang, this guy's cooking. But then he will look and say, but who are these guys he's playing? These guys are in reversible jerseys. These guys don't look like real basketball players. And it's just kind of odd because essentially, their words, not mine, but I agree. These guys really are just trying to build their brands and trying to use their brands to carry them into college and eventually into the NBA. Now, if you've been following Hoop Politics for quite some time, a lot of these things that they're talking about, I've already been saying for a very long time. But it's nice to hear NBA guys see it and know it and acknowledge it as well. And I think that that's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to really keep up with the AAU scene like that. I'm not one for gatekeeping. I believe that opportunities should be available to people who are deserving or who are good enough to have those opportunities. But that's the caveat. People who are good enough to actually have those opportunities. When I was coming up, I sound so old. There weren't that many AAU teams. Coming from the DMV, you either played for Baltimore Elite, you played for DC Assault, or you played for Team Takeover, or like a Team Loaded. That was pretty much it. Now, of course, you had like DC Blue Devils. You had, back when people were really young, PG Jaguars. You had those teams out there. But as you got older, it was really DC Assault, Takeover, or you was with Baltimore. Because there were not that many teams around, It was a high concentration of talent on those teams. And that's not just in the DMV. That was all over the country, which meant that when you played against other guys, you knew you were playing against that city or that state's best players. So when guys got ranked, when guys went off to college, it was surefire, no questions asked. We knew Tyreke Evans was going to cook when he got to Memphis. It was no questions. We knew Will Barton was going to cook when he got to Memphis. No questions. We knew Derrick Rose was going to cook when he got to Memphis. John Wall, Brandon Jennings, even though he went overseas. There were no questions, OJ Mayo, about what these guys were going to do because it was so difficult to get through that small door, that small window, because of the high concentration of talent that was out there. Now, because of that, you had a lot of guys who fall by the wayside, guys who just got lost in the shuffle naturally. Hey, there's only 12 spots, 24 spots, if there's only 2 teams or 3 teams. So you're not going to most likely get picked, which led to people like me and others who ended up on mom and pop teams. And we just end up going to big shots tournaments, hoop group tournaments. And back then that was still legitimate. You could go there and still go high major Division I, even though you didn't play on the circuit. It wasn't called the EYBL at that time. It was just known as the circuit. Fast forward, more opportunities start popping up. Now you have Nike, who has their own league, EYBL. You have Adidas, who have their own league. You have Under Armour, who has their own league. You have Puma, their own league. You got Hoop Group. They got their own league. Everybody has their own league, and every league has 30 teams in it. Because there are so many more opportunities, which is a blessing. That's a blessing. It causes for the talent to be more watered down, because now you have basketball players who really wouldn't be on those high level teams if there weren't so many of them. The more access you give people, the less quality you get. That's not just a basketball thing. That's a life thing. You look at clothing brands, for example. Once they expand and make it to where their stuff is available everywhere, we can manufacture, we can put more shirts together in a quicker amount of time to send out to more people all over the world. You have to make cutbacks in order to meet the demand, to be able to get that shirt out quick enough. McDonald's, we want to get burgers out to everybody. As a result of that, you start to skip on the quality. It's not available, or it is available more, but the quality is not available as much. It's the same thing with basketball. The AAU scene is not what it used to be, simply because there's more opportunities available. And with more opportunities, a decrease in the quality. That's the first thing. The second thing, which now leads into Aaron and Theo's point. Watching the Ball family and watching guys like Mikey Williams and even a Julian Newman, watching a lot of those guys coming up have done more harm to basketball than good. Generational guys, not necessarily as far as talent is concerned, but generational as far as what they were able to do with social media. But because so many kids saw what they were doing on social media and watched how these 15, 16, 17-year-olds are growing these massive brands with 2, 3, 4, 10 million followers, they're watching the lifestyle they're living, and they're seeing how the brand that they have off of the court is leaning into how they get recruited and how they are being seen by basketball programs. LaMelo tricked a lot of you guys because LaMelo actually was nice. LaMelo was actually nice. Yes, he had a camera around him. He had a Lambo at 15 or whatever car he had, but he was actually nice. He was living up to the hype. Mikey, his talent level is not on that level, but he's got aura. He's cool. People want to be like him. And there's no hate to that. No shade. Get your money, do your thing. I'm happy that, you're able to do what you got to do and make money off of it. And if you're setting a good example to kids and all that kind of stuff who are looking up to you, awesome. But as a result of how he has blown up, along with a Julian Newman and other guys, kids are now focused more on building their brand than they are getting better at basketball. And just like any PR team, that one thing you can't do is do anything that's going to hurt your brand or get you exposed. And in basketball terms, that is, we're not going to certain showcases. We're not playing against certain AAU teams, because if we go over here and we don't do well like we need to, that could hurt my brand. I don't have to play those guys because I'm already 5-star. I'm already top 20, top 15, top 10. So because of that, I'm not going to risk losing my stars, losing my ranking, or losing my followers because I get exposed. I come out here on the court against some other guys who are nice and I get done up. So a lot of these kids are now playing in these events that look like just circuses, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like real basketball. Guys are coming down, isoing everybody out, shooting step back threes from deep, and everybody's running on the court. Kids are running all over the court, storming the court. It is the middle of the second quarter, mind you. Guys are coming in, getting a dunk, and everybody's coming in and patting their heads and running on the court. 4 minutes into the third quarter, mind you, tie game. Or the guy who dunked the ball, they're actually down 12. It's one of the reasons why I can't watch OTE, for example. It doesn't look like real basketball. It looks like social media driven basketball. And when I said that probably about a year or two ago, I got a lot of pushback for that. But I still stand on that. Kids are growing their brands. They're not focused on actually playing basketball and getting better. If you are what you say you are, you will do well against those other top players. And even if you don't do well, it's okay to get exposed early so you can figure out what you need to work on. And so you can get better and be ready when it's actually time, when you can no longer allow yourself to be exposed because now you are an adult. Now you're on the college level. Now you're on the pro level. You can't run from competition. You can't run from it. I don't know who a lot of these kids are playing. And then not only that, I'm seeing kids who are playing at their own age group. Guys are 15 years old playing 15 and under. Now, a lot of the young kids hear me say that and they say, well, what are they supposed to play? You mad because they're doing what they're supposed to do? No, y'all are hyping them up because they're doing what they're supposed to do. Me coming up, 15, if you was nice like that, 15 and under, you was playing 17. You were 16, you're playing 17. You're 14, you're playing 17. That's how that went. Some people try to tell me, well, they changed things. You have to play your age range. That's what they try to tell me about Cooper Flagg when I said, why didn't he play 17s? Oh, well, he had to play 16. Why didn't they move the team up? You're not allowed to do that. Yeah, right. Can't believe it. Meanwhile, I'm watching Baba, who is coming into his junior year. He's playing 17. And the thing is, they're talking about it like it's a big deal. And the reason it's a big deal now is because y'all aren't doing that now. Most of y'all are playing at your age range or you're playing lower. And then when it's time to graduate, then you're trying to hurry up and go back up. And so you can leave with the kids you came into high school with. And then saying, yeah, I'm leaving school early. I just kind of feel like, I'm ready for college. High school, I kind of dominate. I'm not getting better here. Well, yeah, you're 19 years old. And you're coming into your senior year now of high school. Don't now paint the picture of, well, I'm leaving early. No, you're not. You're leaving when you were supposed to leave. You went back downstream and you beat up on the kids that were younger than you got your ranking, got your 5 stars. Coaches don't know what they're looking at. So they looked at you and said, oh, yeah, he's easily, a big time player. We got to get him now. Now you got all your offers. You got your rankings. Then you say, OK, now I'm going to come back up. Now you go from being the number 1 player in the junior class coming into the senior class to now you're top 8 coming out of this current senior class. And that's good enough for you because you get all your offers, you get your ranking, you still get your stars, and you can still sneak into the McDonald's All-American and Jordan Brand Classic game if you want. But people who are actually watching basketball and who actually know what's going on, we're not fazed by that. We're not fazed by that. Where am I going with this? I guess I'm just kind of putting my thoughts out there of just AAU basketball and a lot of the craziness that I'm seeing. Guys don't want to play against each other. Guys don't really want to bump. They rather go and play the trash competition out there and beat up on them, get their 40 or their 50. Some mixtape company we never heard of puts their mixtape together. They put it on TikTok. They put it on Instagram. They put it everywhere. They have 2 or 3 crazy highlights of them, crossing somebody up real bad or catching a body with kids who are going to be studying finance next year, who don't even want to play sports beyond high school. That goes crazy. That gets numbers. Next thing you know, they're over there with OTE somewhere. And now they're a 4-star commit, 4-star recruit. Sad to watch. Sad to watch. At least for me, it is. But shout out to some of the basketball players because there are some who aren't running away from the bump. They're not running away from the competition, and they're doing everything possible to make sure that they catch all their fades. And to those out there, I respect that, and I appreciate that, and I love that. And those are the guys that I'm watching for when they get ready to come into college. Those are the guys that I want to talk about while they're still in high school. Because it's not about the wins and losses. It's about how are you approaching every single game? How are you approaching your practices and your workouts on a day-to-day basis? Now, of course, I can't say exactly how you're doing that because obviously I'm not there with you, but I can watch how you play the game, how you approach the game. And that has a lot to do with how I view you off the court. So I just wanted to get that off my chest because that's been bothering me for a while. And I don't think that I'll make a TikTok video concerning it. So this was a good place to go with it. But, all of that really leads me into this final topic that I want to get to. And it stems from TikTok, but really it kind of connects to what I'm talking about with a lot of these kids, which is what's the real reason you're hooping? What is the real reason you're hooping? For a lot of the kids nowadays, it's about their brand, building their brand, getting money early, and doing whatever they do with it from there, which I'm not mad at. If that's what you want to do, cool, go for it. Can't stop you. Can't be mad at it. Not going to take you serious, but can't be mad at it. But this topic opens up to just basketball players in general, no matter where you are playing basketball, whether you are playing in high school, college, pro, semi-pro, men's league, open runs at LA Fitness, private runs with the pros, whatever it is you do. This is open to everybody. I posted a video a few days ago, probably last week, where on my TikTok, where I had said, the worst thing that you can do is be a basketball player who got nice when it didn't matter anymore. And boy, did that ruffle up some feathers. That ruffled up some feathers. And I wanted to take the time to really expound on that because I just don't think that there's enough time on a TikTok video. So I want to get into that. Whew. When I say when you're nice, you need to be nice when it matters. What does that actually mean? What that means is if you are pursuing basketball, and by pursuing, that means you are trying to go to college, you are trying to go pro, you are trying to get paid. in some way or another. You're trying to get paid. That means you have a finite amount of time to get that done, to reach your goal. Normally, that's around the age of 14, 15 years old to about 23 years old. That's really about the cutoff. Nowadays, college guys are in college at 24, 25, but they're getting the NIL money. So maybe you could stretch it a little bit, but these are guys who have already made it to college. So they already still have some things going for them. That is the time where you need to be nice. That is the time where basketball matters the most in your lifetime, as far as doing something with it. There are a lot of people out here now who are on social media doing YouTube, doing the 1v1s, putting together their own little leagues, whatever it is. And I have no issue with that. No issue with that. What a lot of people are doing, however, is they're playing basketball from a perspective that I would see as lame. A perspective that really comes from a hurt place. I had a lot of people who were in my comment section saying, it doesn't matter when you get better. It doesn't matter when you get better. You can get better anytime. It doesn't matter. Don't let this hater, talk bad about you or whatever. And I agree. You can get better whenever you want to. No issue in that. The problem is this. Many people are getting better so they can come back and play against guys who made it to a level that they did not play at. And it's okay to go and play against guys, but you're using that as an opportunity to avenge your younger self. I didn't make it to college. I should have made it to college. Now you're trying to get nice at 24 years old, 25 years old. And you're going to the open gyms with vengeance in your heart, trying to find college guys, D1 guys, JUCO guys, whatever it is. You're setting your phone up on your tripod and you're out here trying to give them buckets and then get on camera and say, yeah, I cook D1 guys. I cook JUCO guys. I cook D2. I cook college guys. I cook this pro. I'm nice. That's lame. Especially because a lot of times what guys are doing nowadays is that they're playing against guys who no longer care. Guys who are no longer living out their basketball journey. I myself am not trying to go D1. I'm not trying to go pro. I've done it. I've already done the things that I wanted to do at the college level or, with basketball in general. I go outside, I'm playing basketball from a different space than a lot of other people. I'm playing from a place of peace. It doesn't matter if I make every shot or miss every shot. I go home and I feel good about myself because when I was supposed to be nice, I was nice. When I was supposed to make these shots that I'm missing right now, I made them. When I was supposed to be clutch, I was clutch. So I don't care about the outcomes of these open gyms, of these LA fitness runs or whatever is going on. Let me make sure I put this caveat in here because a lot of people said to me, you sound like somebody who got did up or, got embarrassed. Then you try to come in here and, clean it up really quick. I can't remember the last time I got embarrassed playing basketball. It has been almost a decade. I can't remember the last time somebody embarrassed me playing basketball. So let me just clean that up now. And that's coming from somebody who does not take it serious. And still, nobody has embarrassed me. I don't even go out places enough for people to embarrass me. Let's just start there. But when I do go out, nobody's embarrassing me. I'm still doing a lot of the embarrassing. But regardless of that, I'm playing from a different place. And a lot of hoopers are playing from a different place. Guys who've already done it. Hey, I got work in the morning. I got kids. I got a family. I'm moving on to different stuff. You, on the other hand, a lot of guys who are trying to get it popping on the social media. And once again, no disrespect, no hate to you, because this isn't for everybody. Some people think I'm talking about like a Friga. No, Friga actually hooped in college. And he never built his brand on I'm nicer than D1 guys, or I should have played D1. He's just hooping, having fun. I actually like Friga. Respect. I'm just speaking generally. A lot of people in the social media space of basketball and just going outside without a camera, without a phone, people are playing basketball from the space or from the place of I am trying to avenge my younger self, a coach, a teammate, a friend, a player, a girl, a teacher, or all the above said, you're not good enough. You can't play here, or you suck, or you're trash, or whatever it is. Cut you from the team. And you took that hurt, that pain, and you carried that with you. And I'm not judging you, because I've done that as well. I didn't get cut, but like I've carried pain like that. I've carried hurt like that before. So I get it. But at some point or another, when you get to the end of the road, what you're going to realize is none of it ever mattered. Y'all are going out here finding college guys, D1 guys, D2 guys, whoever it is, pros, and you're not even seeing the person in front of you. You're seeing the label. You're seeing a face of somebody else who says something to you. You're hooping with somebody else in your mind, putting the battery in your back. And then when you get your win, you're upset when a lot of us say, yeah, it don't matter no more. We don't care. Oh, well, I take it serious. I play all the time. When I go out here, I play serious every time because it matters. I'm not going to let anybody think I'm trash. Yeah, I know you have to play that way because you never showed anybody you were good on a high level. So, yeah, you do have to play with a chip on your shoulder, but really you don't, because like I'm saying and like other people are saying, it doesn't matter anymore. It does not matter anymore. We should all be playing basketball and getting better or whatever it is that we're choosing to do because we just love it and it's fun and it brings peace. At this stage of my life, I enjoy playing basketball because I get to go out here and get a good sweat. I get my cardio in. I get to hit some shots, talk some trash, and I get to have that camaraderie amongst other men. We're passing the ball. We're involved. We're talking on defense. We're sliding. We're locking other teams up. We're getting hyped for one another. I enjoy that. I enjoy that more than coming down and ISOing guys out and scoring all 11 or 12 points for my team. Because I have nothing to prove anymore. When I was supposed to be nice, I was nice. Now I like the community aspect of basketball. And I'm not here to tell you guys what you should be hooping for. But what I will tell you is this. Pain can start a journey. Pain won't finish a journey. What you don't want to do is put all this work in trying to get better when it doesn't matter anymore, to go and kill against whatever college guys or D1 guys or pro guys you want to do and realize nothing comes from it. At best, somebody says, dang, bro, you nice. Where'd you play? And then you tell them nowhere. Dang, bro, that's crazy. You should have played somewhere. You get that pat on the back. And then what? You go back to your regular life, just like we all are. That's not to belittle your accomplishments, because if you go and play basketball and you cook some D1 guys, some college guys, and you're just out there having fun, no issue. No issue. High fives. That's awesome. Excellent. I still do that. It's fun. But don't make it a personal thing for you. Don't allow for the outcomes of these games, of these open runs and open gyms. Don't let the outcomes have such a major impact on you to where it is affecting your mental health. It is affecting your day when you leave out of here. It's not that serious. This stuff doesn't matter. I had a guy who said to me, I don't know what this guy is talking about. I went pro at 27. That sounds good to somebody who has never tried to go pro before. That doesn't matter either. I feel bad because it seems like I'm crushing dreams or like spitting on people's dreams, but I'm really not. If you've tried to go pro, you understand, especially overseas, you are not going to start at the top of any league, any level in Europe, Asia, or Australia. You're going to have to start from the bottom unless you are coming from a high level Division I school where you're already putting up numbers and you have a name for yourself. And even then, you probably won't be at the very top of the top. You'll be probably at second tier. So if you didn't go high D1, which in this case, I know this guy didn't, he just, hustled it up, grinded it up, and ended up going pro. You're at the bottom leagues, like 7th division, making $800, $1,000, maybe a month. You still have to work a regular job, whether you are doing it while you're playing or when you come back. You have to work a regular job until the next opportunity comes, if one comes, because you're not playing at a level that's respected. So nobody's looking at that resume and saying, oh, yeah, we got to bring this guy up to our first division out here in Iceland. And if you're 27 years old, why are they going to take somebody at 27 when they could take somebody at 21? It's the same game being played in the NBA as overseas. But it sounds cool to say, well, I play pro. That's a good talking point to people who don't know any better. What, bro? You played overseas. You're out where? Mexico, Africa. Dang, bro, that's tough. You nice. A lot of people could have done that if they just wanted to go and say they play pro. And I'm not crapping on you, because if you did it simply because you just wanted to do it, just out of the love and out of the joy, more props to you. Fully in support of that. Love that. But if you're doing that just so you can then tell other people that you went pro, that's lame. Because ultimately, nobody cares about anybody's success or failures. People have their own lives. People are doing their own stuff, working with families, working with their kids, working on their own personal journey, their spiritual journey, a job, or just living life. Just living life. No animosity, no hate. Hope you're doing well, but people aren't keeping up. And trying to figure out, I wonder if Joshua, I'm just throwing that name out there. I wonder if Joshua made it pro. Do what you want to do because you want to do it, not because you are using this as a way to throw it back in somebody's face. It's no different than watching somebody come back to a 10-year, 20-year reunion in high school, and they did all of this incredible stuff, had a family, started a business, found Jesus, did all these awesome things. Just and so they can come back and rub it in somebody's face. Well, then what did you really do it for? Because, okay, you might get your moment right here, and we don't know how that'll turn out, because somebody probably will just treat it like, okay, whatever, cool, good to see you, and move on. And if that happens, then where do you go from there? Back home to this life you've curated for the last 10 or 20 years, hoping that somebody would, break down and cry and say, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have treated you bad. Please take me now. And so that you can say no. I've already thought these things. I've already gone down that road. I haven't done that before, but I've already gone down these roads before. It doesn't lead anywhere. I've already tried playing basketball from the perspective of, I'm going to show my old high school coach. I'm going to show these guys who talk trash about me. I'm going to show these guys who said I wouldn't be good. And you know what? I did all of those things and my coach is still coaching. And the people who said what they said about me don't even know I exist anymore because they're moving on with their lives, just like I have to move on with my life. So to wrap it up, for those of you out there who are playing basketball, play basketball because you love it. Play basketball because it gives you peace, whatever it is. It gives you your camaraderie. If you like to get better, you like the competition, you like beating college guys and D1 guys, do that. No issues. But at a certain point, we all have to accept the idea that this isn't going to lead anywhere for us anymore. And we can't get up every day with the mindset of they counted me out. They counted me out. So I got to prove to them today. I got to get my camera and I got to set up my tripod and I got to get to it. Bro, just make your videos and go on. Be at peace. Be at peace, man, and love what you do. That's all I got. That's all I got, man. I think I yapped long enough. Episode 3 is in the books. I'm excited about this one. I feel good about this one. I'm flowing pretty well. And then look at that. The battery is about to die. So see, that works out perfectly, man. I appreciate y'all who sat around to the end, who listened. I hope that some of this stuff was insightful. I hope that my mind wasn't too crazy for some of y'all and I'm not rambling and it's not making sense. If you guys like this, like the video, share it, comment, subscribe. Let me know where you guys are at. Are you on the Spotify? Are you on YouTube? We're going to come out with another episode next week. We're going to try to shoot for Wednesday morning. If you're listening to this right now, most likely we are putting this out on Wednesday, but we're recording on a Tuesday. Why am I telling you all this stuff, man? Look, y'all take care. Be safe. I love you guys. God bless you, man. Give your life to Jesus if you haven't already, man. We're out of here. Peace.